Welcome to the highlights of the opening day of this Test series between England and the West Indies. Always a great moment, a nerve-wracking one for some players, an exciting one for others. And for David Gower, skipper for the first time in a full series in England, it would have been one where there were just a few butterflies in the tom as he went out to toss with Clive Lloyd. The England selectors announced that Neil Foster would be left out of the originally nominated 12 players. West Indies left out Richie Richardson. They've played a full complement of pace bowlers, and they have in Roger Harper, the off-spinner. David Gower won the toss, and I thought a very, very good toss to win. No doubt there'd be a little bit of moisture in early on, which the West Indies pace bowlers might exploit, but a good toss to win because England had one glance at the pitch and the bare surface, the fact that the grass had been shorn off, and played their two spinners, Nick Cook and Jeff Miller. Here's the first ball of the match now. Graham Fowler is taking strike, and Malcolm Marshall is the bowler. Two left-handers for England in a test match, an unusual happening. It happened 8 years ago when John Edrich and Brian Close opened at Old Trafford. Time before that, 11 years previously, 1965, Bob Barber and John Edrich. And the time before that, 1961, so it is rather rare. Missing leg stump, but quite a useful over from Malcolm Marshall to start with. Plenty of pace, perhaps not quite of as full a length as he'd like once he gets loosened up.
Yes, good delivery this, and I think Graham Fowler just got a little inside edge on it as well.
And Lloyd is off the mark. Single to Andy Lloyd, first run for England. And that's out. First blood to the West Indians. That great amount of lift from Joel Garner, and Fowler, a glove, I suspect, down the leg side. And the West Indians have broken through straight away. Just that bit of extra bounce that makes this fella so very awkward to play. Straight by Lloyd. First boundary of the innings. And still Marshall is down the line of leg stump. Gone, played on. Once again, steep bounce. Randall couldn't handle it. He was trying to play it away, just push away on the offside. Played it down onto the base of the stumps. Joel Garner has picked up 2. England 5 for 2 wickets. That was just about the ultimate unplayable delivery.
If you watch this carefully, it pitches about middle and leg, and leaves him. What it? Well, you've got to be a mighty good player to even get a nick on that. And 4 more byes.
Good shot. He didn't quite time it, but they should pick up 3 there. Gomes is the fielder. It goes to 10. And field change. Clive Lloyd is pulling in Larry Gomes to a catching position just round the corner, very square for Andy Lloyd. Now, Gomes was some 10 or 12 yards behind square a little earlier. dear me. Oh, I didn't like the look of that at all. Just got him on the side of the head, I would think, where that protective plastic or perspex comes down. That did look very nasty. It looks as though he sustained a cut, and there's certainly a little bit of shock there. Yes, it was of such a height that he could actually have played it defensively.
It's obviously he's annoyed and doesn't want to come off. But I think it is the most sensible thing to do.
One of the problems is if you stay on after a knock like that, you think you're okay, but you have a little bit of delayed shock. Much better to have that in the dressing room than out in the centre.
That's firmly driven, big wide open spaces on the offside. That'll go through for 4, I think. Over the ropes. Good confident off drive from Alan Lamb. He moves on to 6. And it completes another Malcolm Marshall over. Going through for 4, but 3 useful runs to the left-hander. As that carried, everybody's waiting. He says he caught it. Alan Lamb asked Clive Lloyd if he caught it. He got a nod of approval from the West Indian captain, and he's on his way. So Lamb goes for 15, caught Lloyd, bowled Baptiste, and it's 45 for 3.
Didn't quite time that, but that will get away to the boundary. Feeling that Gower had his head turned away when playing that shot. Indeed he did.
You can see the flags fluttering there, and in fact they're blowing across the ground now. When we started this morning they came straight from Michael Holding's end, so this will be helping him to swing the ball into David Gower quite a bit.
Good catch. Draw bowl too. And England deep in trouble now, 49 for 4. Gower is gone. And a very fine piece of bowling that from Michael Holding. Both of them on naught, dropped. And Baptiste not very happy.
Well, this went pretty quick. He gave it a full flash, and it went to that awkward height when you're in the gully that you stay down, it goes above your head. But it's got to go down as a chance because Harper's acknowledged to be a great fieldsman, so it must go down as a chance.
Botham's off the mark. 50's up for England, 4 wickets down. Batsman out, Fowler no score, Randall no score, Gower for 10 and Lamb 15. Lovely shot. Beautiful free swing of the bat there from Miller.
Oh, and you've got young Lloyd there. He's going off to hospital, I presume, for an X-ray, just to see if there's any break or fracture or anything. And it's a wise precaution, that, just to make sure.
shot. Botham's had the lead off, being dropped by Harper. Off Baptiste bowling. Now goes on to 12. What a performance that was from the West Indian bowlers. Gower won the toss. England batted on a good track, some life there in the first hour, but there at lunchtime it's 73 for 4. And a tremendous performance from Joel Garner and the rest of the West Indies. They really are a very, very formidable bowling side and a formidable team as well. Well, immediately after the luncheon interval, Miller hit Holding for 4, but the first man we see now is Ian Botham. Joel Garner is the bowler.
That's a good shot. Don't get too many opportunities to drive when Garner's bowling, and Botham there making the most of it. Well, that's going to be 4 more streaky runs. Nobody down there. Went at catchable height, but fortunate for Miller, he found one of the reasonable gaps there between 4th slip and gully. And he's gone. The outside edge, a magnificent catch there by the wicketkeeper Dujon. And Garner strikes again. So Jeff Miller looked pretty good. Goes for 22. And he's bowled with a no ball. Well, that won't please the big fella. Looking down and downcast.
And quite certainly Ian Botham didn't know it was going to be a no ball. Inside edge into the leg stump.
That's Pringle away nicely. Very pitch ball on leg stump. Good player off his legs, Derek Pringle. So the 4 runs, Derek Pringle sees him off the mark and also takes England past the 3-figure mark. And a little flick at that and he's gone, caught behind. Pringle goes for 4, 103 for 6, and a wicket for Michael Holding.
Shot. Three to Downton. Desmond Haynes, the fielder. He spent most of his time today in at short leg. He's a lovely throwing arm once he's given any work to do in the outfield. It's a glorious stroke. He's got that away fine. Now it's a good shot. He actually waited on that. And it looked to me as though he placed it. Not very easy to do with a hook shot. The ball's got to go in the air. Give him the benefit of the doubt there about the placement. He's whipped that away through Joel Garner at point. So the Somerset teammates having a little go at one another now, and Botham has reached his half-century with that fine shot past point. 51 he goes to, 141 for 6. And he's faced only 67 balls. That's a good shot. It's been stopped as just the single, but that was the best hook shot Botham has played. Marshall skids at you rather than bounces all that high. 50 partnership in 63 balls faced between Botham and Downton, and full marks to young Paul Downton, who's hung in there. Battled very, very hard.
to move at all. Just let the bat flow, and it was 4 runs.
Yes, and this was a fair shot because he's been tending to play a little bit forward all the time, but it shows what pace this wicket is now because he didn't really hook it, he pulled that.
It looks as though that Clive Lloyd has been forced to call up his solitary spinner. Roger Harper, the off-spinner, going to come on, take over from Baptiste at this pavilion end. Well, he's going to be out. He's fallen for the trap. Yes, caught mid-off. Garner takes an easy catch, and the breakthrough achieved there by the off-spinner. And Ian Botham will be kicking himself. Nicely in, firmly settled. On comes the spinner, up goes the ball, and out he goes. 64 he made, 168 for 7. And the pressure is on England again. And he's dropped a slip. Chance there, difficult one, but a very obvious chance to Clive Lloyd. And he's dropped, no, as he caught it at the 3rd attempt, tosses it high in the air. It's not been one of the great days for Clive Lloyd. So Cook goes, and one can't deny Malcolm Marshall his first wicket. Worked jolly hard for it. He's beat the bat several times and deserved a wicket here before tea. Cook the man to go, and it's 173 for 8 here at tea. And a marvellous start for the touring West Indians.
Moment, it's Marshall bowling a bouncer at Willis, which is unlikely to be very well received by umpire Harold Bird. In fact, is chipping Marshall about it now.
Yes, I think he's absolutely right too. I mean, Bob really has no idea how to handle bouncers at all.
This is the last time Bob Willis will be seen in action on this EDGBASTON ground as a test player for England. Today announced his retirement from the first-class game at the end of this season. And once again, Willis cleverly pushes away on the onside. Paul Downton started today with a batting average of 7 in tests. He's doubled that already. And that's very close, yes. Good ball. Cut back very sharply indeed. Joel Garner picks up his 4th wicket. The end of the England innings at 191. Only for 9 wickets, but Andy Lloyd can't bat. Downton out for a brave and gritty 33. 10 to Bob Willis, unbeaten. It's his 53rd not out in a test career, and Downton did extremely well there for his 33. Yes, indeed, it was a very good innings from Paul Downton. 33 there enabled England to get up to close to the 200 mark before finally they were bowled out shortly after the tea interval. Botham 64 and Miller 22, with Downton's 33 were the only others to impress against a very formidable West Indian bowling side. 4 for 53 Garner, 2 wickets to Holding, and the others also bowled really well. Not many runs to defend, 191, but Bob Willis was the first to try. Here he is now coming in with the 3rd ball of the first over. He's bowling to Gordon Greenwich, and there are no runs on the board.
Well, that's a superb shot to get away. Short, foot across, right on top of it, hammered it square. Typical Greenwich shot and a typical opening for him. It's through, and I'm giving chase. Doing well to save the 4 in the end. 3 more to Greenwich. So Desmond Haynes hasn't seen very much of the strike so far. It's been largely Greenwich. Botham to bowl to him. Big shout for LBW. Pitched that up, it swung a little.
Yeah, this was a good delivery. He'd been making it run away and he bowled an in-swinger here. Probably just got outside the off stump. Good delivery that though, good shout.
That's sliced away. It's behind square. Fowler's a pretty sharp mover, but he's not going to be quick enough. And it's 4 more.
Again Botham, and he's bowling to Haynes. I'm not certain which hand it was. It was cut about the other day where he had 5 stitches. I've got a feeling it was the one he pulled away so quickly from that fierce drive from Haynes. Oh, well caught. And a no ball. Exactly the same as happened earlier when Botham was bowled by Joel Garner from a no ball. In both cases, the batsman didn't change their stroke at all. And that's out. LBW to Willis. That looked a very clear-cut LBW. Haynes was beaten on the backstroke. Certainly wasn't going forward. And Bob Willis has struck for England. .35 for 1 West Indies, and that's in reply to England's 191 after David Gower won the toss this morning. Decided England would bat. Good toss to win, even though they knew there'd be a little bit of early life in the pitch. Oh, yes, gone. Greenwich goes in the same way as Haynes, the ball cutting back. And that one kept low. I don't think there was much Gordon Greenwich could do about that. I won't say it was unplayable, but my word, it would have been difficult to lay the bat on it. No change in the field for Willis to bowl to Richards. Still 3 slips in a wide gully. Richards off the mark with 4. Very, very close, but it's 4 runs. Gower was the fielder. Good piece of bowling, applauded there by the skipper. Found the outside edge of Richards' bat. Willis is down at long leg. And up comes the 50 for the West Indians now. .5,000 runs for Vivian Richards in Test cricket. Nice landmark for him. One of the greatest cricketers the world has ever seen. And more ominous for England is the fact that he's 14 not out at the close of play. 2 more runs added there to take the final score for the West Indies up to 53 for 2. The England bowling figures: Willis bowled very well again today. 7 overs, 2 for 30. Botham and Pringle between them bowled 10 overs without success, but they had a few close shaves. So England 191 in this opening Cornhill Test match of the series. West Indies 53 for 2, and West Indies 138 runs behind. Well, it wasn't your injury to Andy to take the final score for the West Indies up to 53 for 2. Well, it wasn't your ordinary old run-of-the-mill day, the opening match of this 5-match series, because we had Botham's innings, we had some spirited bowling from the West Indians, we had the injury to Andy Lloyd, and I'm thankful to be able to tell you that it looks as though he is going to be okay. He's going to be in the hospital for observation, they say for between 7 to 14 days, but it looks as though it's a nerve that has been jarred and a bit of bruising around the eye, and they're not taking any chances with him. So that is very, very good news. From England's point of view, it's not quite so good, because they have the problem of having to bowl the West Indies out for a reasonable total on what is a very, very flat pitch.